Let's find out if Cringe Crew actually ban the Hombats again then, because they did last game. Game 2 on your screens, Leftovers will be first pick, first ban this time. Cringe Crew, well, they're going to take their turn on the Chaos side of things.
And Leftovers prefer Order side. They've picked it 6 out of 9 games now after that last one. Still targeting out Shaggyshenk though. Chrono's going to be banned away.
And Shaggyshenk played Neith that game and had one of the highest player damages in the game towards the end of the game there. So not a surprise to see him go back to banning out Shaggyshenk, who's picked it up again this season.
These are just target bans. I mean, obviously Naja has been banned 24%, but still, first banning it in this spot instead of, waiting until the second phase is kind of this, we don't want jungler to have this setup god.
Bakasura will get banned away.
None of it. They're having none of it.
I guess that also means they don't want to play it themselves, because they could have left it up and taken it, but they don't want to deal with it whatsoever or pick it themselves. Leftovers, though, first option available to them this game.
They could go Soul and take it away from Shaggyshenk if they want.
I guess that's probably
There's a
pick
couple options here. We've seen teams first pick Scylla, like you said, as well, since she's recently been buffed.
News off the table, though. It will be Janus picked up this time by Leftovers. They don't want to give that one over to Kero mid, who had a good game. He hit a big 3 space and time right at the end there that just ended the game for the most part. Cringe Crew with 2 picks available to them. As you said, Sol available for Shaggyshenk if we want to see him go to that one. Will we see the Athena come out at all? We will see the Apollo again.
I'm really not surprised about the Apollo. I kind of felt like this was definitely a possibility, even though Shaggy has been so good on these mages, especially, like I said, Chronos. It's still Apollo right now. He's one of, if not the strongest hunter. We've seen teams not only first pick him, but it's very rare to see him get out of the first phase of the draft at all, whether it's banned or picked away in some form.
And surprisingly now, Hoey started to slip down a little bit, but he's still going to get locked in here. But he's kind of like fallen to below Apollo, I want to say.
He's still good in the 1v1, right? Yeah. Mark of the Golden Crow is just so powerful.
His late game is insane.
in those situations. Sons as well, very good for the Gold Fury fights.
Not just Gold Fury, zone control and decent damage in those fights too. Sobek for the Leftovers, back for Badgah this time around. He's not going to be able to get the Athena because obviously EmilZy's already taken that one for himself.
So I'm not sure if Leftovers play the Awelish Sobek combination that we see North America like to play, specifically Eager. But if they do, right, this is kind of forcing Cringe Crew into banning the Awelish away instead of them focusing on kind of targeting out like the Thor and Hunbats like they did last time, locking those away from jungler.
Well, Cringe Crew will actually pick up Thor for themselves. Repikas goes to it. There's the Hombats ban once more, targeted at jungler, who played Bastet last game. Will we see him go for the ban like you said? Will they go for the Awelish ban here, just for safety?
Cringe Crew. I would like to see the Wheelix ban. I don't know if these teams scrim each other or not, but it's always devastating to kind of have to deal with the Sobek Wheelish combo. A lot of it does come down to player god pull. Not everyone plays a Wheelish right now. And it is going to be another jungler ban, but this time Fenrir. So Cringe Crew doing their best in this set to make sure that jungler and Cherryo are uncomfortable in their combinations.
And the funny story is, turnabout is fair play, as they ban out 2 mages Leftovers this time against Cringe Crew. They don't want Kero to have Raw or Athena. So both these teams seem to have the same idea of snipes win games with taunts. That's basically the story.
We could see Isis. It's going to be Soul, though, which leads me to believe that Soul will be played mid and Apollo Hunter, although we have seen some Apollos in the Soul lane. I don't know if Cringe Crew really want to trust Axioz with that, or if that's in his god pool.
I think that's the best thing. They've got Sol and Apollo, which can both flex. They can both go into the duo lane. They can both... Well, Apollo can go solo, which we've not really seen too much Sol in the solo lane. But whoever's going solo is going to be up against a Bellona now for Leftovers.
Last pick coming in for Leftovers. They're going to need a jungler, unless they put Bellona in the jungle. I don't imagine they will. We haven't seen that in a long time. Warriors also haven't been too successful outside of the solo lane this year, and it's going to be Serket.
The rise of Serket, she got some recent buffs and now started to see a little bit more play. We saw it early on by Frostyak on Dignitas earlier in today. And now Cringe Crew, well, they're probably looking for a solo here, I want to say, with how this lineup's looking. They need something tanky, I guess. I mean, they've got Thor and Athena. Guan Yu.
So they're going to take that away for themselves this time. Nika's not going to be on the Guan Yu. It's going to be Axioz. Or excuse me, it is going to be... Yeah.
It's Axioz. You got it right.
It is Axioz.
You were worried.
Because I messed it up earlier. Man. I was like, I don't want to do this again.
These new players, man. But yeah, it is going to be going into Axioz, that Guan Yu. Unless we see Guan Yu in support and Athena in the solo lane, it's also an opportunity.
Nah, I don't think so.
You never know, right?
That's true. It is Europe.
I always try and keep it...
Especially with Europe.
Let's find out.
You never know.
Kero mid, Axioz on Guan Yu in the solo lane. Shaggyshenk and EmilZy will combine on Athena. Nika will be solo Bellona. Jungler on that Serket in the jungle alongside Cherryo, Janus in mid. Badgah and Arkkyl will be on Sobek and Hoey, respectively.
Ooh, that rolling of the R's.
Rolling.
I can't roll my R's.
I
took 3 years of Spanish, including AP Spanish, and
all
I remember is
Spanish
like,
got to do with it?
What?
Do you have to roll your R's in Spanish?
Well, there's words that you roll your R's.
Oh, really?
Stop. Now, see, I'm gonna try and do it. It's not gonna look. Holy, look at these wards coming out from Cringe Crew. They are just like, let's make sure the same thing doesn't happen. Not only do they have a ward at both mid camps on the bottom side, but they have 2 wards already on the right side of the map, right? They're just like, all right, well, jungler, you got us game 1. We're just going to spend 100 gold to make sure you don't get us game 2.
Let's be honest as well. I think that's also one of the reasons we're seeing that is... Actually, no, it's the other way around. You're right. I think it is just to stop them going for that camp on Axioz early on. At first, I was like, yeah, but, you know, Guan Yu Thor could invade you, but they are the Guan Yu Thor this game, so I don't think they're going to be too worried about a Circuit invade coming out. But because of all that wall coverage, you can see the Cringe Crew going for the opportunity to take mid-harpies away on the right-hand side. Left ones still available here as both teams do the relatively standard starts we've been seeing for the whole season.
I do want to see if jungler does go for this, right? Because it's also, this is definitely a matchup. I mean, Circuit, right? Her level 2 is actually very strong. Not only does she have a taunt to guarantee that Axioz will be locked down for a little bit, but Deathbane does a decent amount of damage, especially if you hit all 3 ticks.
Let's be honest though, but even without knowing it here, Leftovers actually get a small win because of that, because they've just forced an extra 100 gold out of the inventory of Cringe Crew on wards that are never going to be needed.
Repikas, he has Hammer, going to try and steal away these camps, but
nope.
Not going to do it in time, and a taunt coming out quickly. Jungler jumps away, spent a lot of mana early on, but he has a couple mana pots, so he's fine.
Cherryo missing that portal, a little bit unfortunate. Kero just sidestepped it nicely, so a little bit of reduced damage there. Definitely wave clear advantage for Cringe Crew. Circuit has to be very careful about positioning. As you can see, Repikas will just use the Berserker Barrage to get control and then head over to the right-hand back harpies that are available for them.
Solo lane, Axioz versus Nika, and actually left-hand side. EmilZy chasing Badgah forward here, and Leftovers, they're going to have to quickly jump away.
Arkkyl actually had to protect Badgah more than anything else there, and took a lot of free poke because of it. He took an archer damage as well, but did a good job of sustaining back up. Has to use all his potions. That's already a win for the dual lane of Cringe Crew, especially with Shaggyshenk still having both potions available.
So even though jungler doesn't gank him at like the first minute, instead he comes over a minute and a half. But the wards are still there. Repikas knows it, and he's going to swing around here. He doesn't even need to, right? He's like, I'm just going to farm. This is just like they're letting jungler waste time, right? He's going to be able to split the board, but still.
I mean, we said there was a gold advantage for Cringe Crew, sorry, for Leftovers because of that. But now that he's got over there, it paid off, and in the end, Nika just, Axioz just called out, yeah, don't worry about it, I'm fine, guys. You can just walk back to mid lane and continue farming. Jungler will get a boar, it's okay. But fairness, though, the mobility coming out from that Circuit has allowed him to get the boar experience and that mid wave, too.
And now, with that double tap, Repikas is going to be able to steal away these back harpies. Actually, Kero quickly backs off, making sure to that he's not going to get counter-invaded.
There's a rotation as well from Cringe Crew here.
Did he get the big one?
Not sure if he did. Can't be 100%. It looks like he did, because Repi's still... Well, Repi's still 4, so I guess it did.
It was close.
Like
and now, actually, Kero in a lot of trouble. He will go into Corporeal form, but he's chased. Jungler has ult.
Ult will connect,
it's
pull him into the minions, but it doesn't spread, but he will die. First blood, the way of Leftovers. Once again, Jungler getting the first kill.
And right-hand side, Axioz going to solo out Nika. Apparently, Jungler did need to be over here.
Ooh.
Thankfully, that happened a little bit after the first blood onto Kero.
Pretty surprising.
Pretty surprising.
I mean,
Axioz showing up.
Axioz, new to the league, comes in as a substitute, solos Nika, who, let's be honest, he was new to the league himself, but started to establish himself on this Leftovers lineup.
And Nika had 10 games, right? Axioz has only had a single set before this, so that's pretty big coming out. I mean, Cringe Crew, they lose Ashu, who I think was starting to perform pretty well into Season 3, right? Looked much better, I think, after Super Regionals, but Cherryo...
Space and time fired off, gonna get both of them, but I don't think there's any more aggression
has no mana. Repi has no mana.
That's the reason they're going for this then, but have they got the damage is the real question. There's no ultimate available for jungler there, and now with Axioz's rotation, jungler is in trouble himself.
4 seconds.
Stellar Burst misses, Tallow Assault and the in-hands do not.
4 seconds still on Deathbane, but a return kill, and jungler's gonna find his first death of the game, and... Cherryo, that was I think he stole away the mid harpies as well. At least that's what he was trying. I really like that combination from them. They recognize that Repikas has no mana, especially if he used any abilities on the mid camps. And now EmilZy in a little bit of trouble as well.
Really good contest. And once again, I believe Leftovers came out on top of those mid harpies once more with that unstable Vortex combo. Avoided the Stellar Burst damage from Kero, so he didn't get eaten. And then the mid harpies fall.
Cringe Crew right now, even in gold with Leftovers, even though they got first blood, so Leftovers getting the better of them when it comes to farming so far. And I like this composition from Leftovers a little bit more than the last one, right? Cherryo can self-peel, as well as kind of everyone in this team has a lot of mobility. Sobek has a dash, also CC immune ult, where he's underwater for I mean, ever.
Yep.
Right? Arkkyl has a jump. Jungler has multiple escapes, right? Sercat, one of the most slippery characters in the game, and the Nika's just going to be tanky.
Just be tanky, just weather the storm and then heal the team back up afterwards as well. And Axioz, well, Axioz has got himself in a good spot over in the solo lane. Nika, yeah, he's going to be tanky, but at the moment, Axioz is doing a great job against him.
He's already got a 400 gold lead. He got that single kill, right? So it wasn't first blood, which means he's been able to outfarm him a little bit as well. That's probably because he was stuck in base after dying. Still no boots online for Nika, or teleport. So it's going to be a while before he takes a trip back to the base.
Is he going to end up getting bullied a little bit more by Axioz over in that lane for now? Just farm up, play safe, try not to give up too much. The extra penetration, sorry, the extra power will be available for Axioz now with those warrior tabby, I should say. Back in the old days of Pen, do you remember that?
Oh, please,
good
no.
times.
And you can see what Axioz recognizes this, so he's just bullying Nika as much as he can. He wants to force him back before his teleport's up, which means Nika's going to lose even more farm, but it's going to be hard. Teleport will be up in about 30 seconds, so Nika should be able to survive until then at the very least.
I love what he did there. He left to try and reduce a little bit of damage from archers, but kept him out of range so he gets the gold from him, but keeps his Scourge active too, so he can still get the heals off it as well if he can. For just under 6 minutes in though, Gold Fury Warriors might start with in terms of wards at the moment. You can see leftovers. They're looking for a pinch here in the jungle, but I think it's recognized.
EmilZy, he's going to be portal, no follow-up, and a beautiful wall by Repikas. And Jungler's actually the one caught on the wrong side. He's going to dash away, but Repi's in the sky.
He is in the sky, going to dunk down. The poison does not spread because he doesn't die. Repikas picks up Jungler, who full committed. And now you're going to have to see Cherryo disengaged there as Badgah does pick up EmilZy, though, in trade support for a jungler at the moment. Everybody else is out. Or is he?
That's
Cherryo out?
That's a win for Cringe Crew right now. Repikas knows where he's at. Oh, no, and Cherryo actually portals through the wall. If those archers were a couple steps later, he would have been fine. Instead, he's going to have to die to Phoenix. I don't believe Repikas was close enough to get the assist there, so that was a true just save or don't let Cringe Crew get any experience or gold off.
I mean, the decision there is how long do you want to stay dead for? Yes, you could dance around the map a little bit more. You could still die to a tower or a Phoenix before they could get to you. But how long do you want to keep them dancing for? That's the big question. Instead, what we're going to see here is Badgah's going to hold the mid wave, hopefully for jungler to come over, but I think he realizes jungler's like, no, I'll do mid harpies, you take that farm. So he takes that full wave in mid, so none's lost.
Badgah swinging away for now. And these left harpies going to go the way of Repikas. And like I said, though, Cringe Crew coming up with the win there. Right? Not only do they only lose EmilZy, but the kill goes to Badgah. And I believe it was Repikas who came up with the kill onto Jungler.
Yep.
It's going to make it a little bit harder for Jungler to kind of get back into this game. And a taunt in the mid lane.
Does sound Badgah. Wall was greatly followed up, and the Stellar Burst did a lot of damage, but Badgah gets away, had no ultimate to continue. Got a little bit of backup from his team, but not enough for him to be able to stay in that fight at all. Cringe Crew with a nice little pick, and that's just the strength of EmilZy's Athena there, once again.
Just...
over and over again, taunt.
It's the same with Ares, right? This guy is the one who kind of crafted this team together, right? He was the coach for Coast a long time ago, and even now, he's looking for Arkkyl. He's actually trying to bait the jump, or at the very least, the purification. Only gets the jump, though. Purification, we're actually already down. Yeah,
he got a little bit of poke on, but Shaggy was low on mana there. What he did end up doing, though, was getting Cherryo's ultimate, worried about the full rotation of the team there. Through space and time, was fired off to help Arkkyl out of the tricky situation he found himself in there for a moment. But once again, Cringe Crew, 3-2, looking for 2 wins back-to-back here. If they can find it, it's going to put them great in the standings because they'll move to 2nd in Europe.
You want to know what the biggest strength for EmilZy kind of being this aggressor on the team, right? Not only on the Ares, but on the Athena. It's that it kind of strikes fear in the opponents, right? Obviously, you don't ever want to play scared, but if you have to play worried, right? Especially if you don't have the gold or the ward coverage, you always have to be like, where is the support?
Talking about lack of war coverage, Gold Fury's been started here. Axioz teleports in, trying to do it, but there was a reset at the same time here. The mistakes have been made. Cringe Crew are crashing in. This is destruction. Leftovers, they're going to fall apart based off a bad mistake from this team. The shot calling was off. The Gold Fury gets reset, and their lives are lost.
Bye-bye, Nika. Shaggy finds the 2nd kill of the team fight. Cringe Crew, 5 members strong. Everyone on Leftovers either died or were back to the fountain anyway.
So Leftovers, right? What happens there is they pull the Gold Fury, they're doing the Gold Fury, Axioz shows up, everybody goes, nah, we're good, let's just back away then, because I guess they know about it. Jungler's like, no bro, we can do this, I'll zone him away. They could have killed the Gold Fury while he was being ulted by Jungler. Instead they drop it, then go back to the Gold Fury thinking, oh, We can do this then. But they've already reset it a little bit, have to pull the aggro again, and by that point, Cringe Crew collapse.
Repikas and Shaggyshenk as well, just kind of falling from the sky into the back line, and it's so hard, right? Especially when both ultimates are hitting at the same time. It just creates kind of a distraught fight. You're like, who are we going on? What's the target call? Because there's so many factors that you have to take in at once, and Leftovers, they didn't know what to do. It was kind of like scram, right? It's like, it's like the cops showed up, and it's like everyone scram, no one stay around. A couple got caught, they got sent to jail. The rest managed to get out, but they lose the Gold Fury. They don't get the stolen items.
Show me the graphs, please, boys and girls, because we'll see it's 3,000 experience, 2,000 gold in the lead for Cringe Crew. Just realistically for me, over that one engagement, there was a little bit of a dip, as you can see, but the dip was just dramatic from that Gold Fury attempt onwards. Leftovers have put themselves in an awkward spot now. After having some decent control in this game, Cringe Crew, well, they're the ones on the front foot once more.
So there's 4 teams, right, that are I would say battling for the 3rd spot at DreamHack. I'm still considering Paradigm kind of above them. It was Cringe Crew, it was Dignitas, it's Leftovers, and Torpedo. And Torpedo and Leftovers, I think, were kind of on the bottom end. Cringe Crew and Dignitas were kind of on the top. But with how Cringe Crew are playing right now, right, it took them a little bit, I think, to assimilate Repikas into this lineup. But he's a world-class jungler, right? Season 1, he was one of the best players on that stage, and he's proving it here in this set as well. He is just destroying Leftovers. And it's not just him, it's EmilZy as well. It's just kind of this double engaged composition that are doing so well for Cringe Crew. Kero just sits in the back line. Shaggyshenk positions perfectly. And Axioz, this rookie pickup, after you lose Zashu,
Hey.
He's the surprising one.
He is the surprising one. He's doing things that Cringe Crew needed from him, because a lot of fans for Cringe Crew were like, well, that's their hopes and dreams. Rest in peace. Because a lot of them expect him to be
thought they were
third this
done.
season. Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
I thought they were done.
Because there wasn't many in the scene that knew many solo laners at the moment. Solo lane is a rough role to fill over at the moment, because you want to be able to know matchups in the lane as well as shot call. Because that's one thing that they may not need it too much, Cringe Crew, but shot calling as a solo lane when they turn up is a very important factor for the most part, because they're the big tanky target. They're the ones that are going to be engaging in these fights and talking about what we can do and what we can't do based off their health, their survivability, their tankiness, their peel.
It's like, I'm 4 levels ahead right now. I know the limits of my character, what I've built into. It's like, I can zone out this person, the rest of you fight. We can win this. But if you don't have a person who kind of knows their strengths and weaknesses at any given time based on their build and the opponent's build, it's much harder. And now Cringe Crew.
Now Cringe Crew,
once again, 6-2.
I'll say this game was balanced. Cringe Crew was slightly ahead, but that Gold Fury mistake was Leftovers' own fault. It was not Cringe Crew playing very, very well at all. They were late to that Gold Fury. The Gold Fury should have been killed. Leftovers made the mistake, and they should have been. They got punished for it, and they deserve to be for the mistake Leftovers made.
What they were trying to do was sneak it, but it's so hard to sneak a Gold Fury against triple globals. And now in the mid lane, it's actually EmilZy trying to get something going, but caught under the tower, flung back in. That's going to be a 1 for 0.
Just got
maybe Badgah falls.
Poison ends up spreading, and Badgah does end up falling down in the end, thanks to the ultimate coming out from jungler onto him. Didn't spread, obviously. I'm an idiot. And then the mid tower maybe poked down a little bit here as well, as they've got minions coming in. See the rotation coming out as well from Axioz. Siege has begun.
I don't see how Leftovers are going to stop this. Nika's rotated in, but once again, a beautiful roll coming out for Repikas. The snipe comes through, but guess what? Nika's just going to heal everyone up. They're not worried about taking poke like this. Leftovers, if they want to fight, they have to all in.
Two
they
range
can't go in
carries
phases.
smashing away on the tower will bring it down. Sol and Apollo will make short work of those towers. Good wall again coming out from Repikas, but dipped out did jungler just through the tiniest of cracks. Now with the extra protection, Shaggy takes a couple of shots as once again engagement comes in from Cringe Crew as they're looking for a tier 2.
Repikas landing in the back, trying to find Cherryo, but he's able to snake his way out. It's another beautiful wall from Repikas. Like, these are just on point all game so far. Tier 2, they will lose the Tier 1 on left, but I really don't think they're too worried about that.
This is a Season 1 Repikas for me.
I haven't seen this play from Repikas in a long,
since the old
long
Agilitas days. On the road towards the World Championships, making it to Season 1 Smite World Championships is where he had this run. He kind of dipped in Season 2, to be fair, as did most of the boys of Titan, but he's finding his form.
You know, I talked to Ataraxia at Worlds because he was on the desk with me. And what he said is that Repikas, he loves Repikas, but the problem was kind of the consistency, right? It's like he would have these all-star games and then just disappear in game 2. And it's kind of like, you need that consistency to play at the highest level continuously instead of just, it's okay to take games off big teams every once in a while, but if you want to be that big team, you need that consistency. And I think kind of the disbandment of Titan has helped Repikas. It helped a lot of players, even Jeff Hinley in North America.
Bit of banter here, right? But he says that. Ataraxia said that, but then picked up Twig.
Okay. That's
Bit of
fair.
banter, bit of hot banter for you boys at home. You'll all enjoy that one. Sorry, Twig. I'm sorry. I just gonna had to say that. I was like, if you want consistency. Torn onto Badgah as he tries to charge play away.
middle
He's
of
in
the
an
dash.
awkward spot
The
with the
wall.
wall coming down again from Repikas. We will see Cringe Crew pick up another kill. Kero annihilates Badgah. Gold Fury is available though. Will they look for him?
Who has the best walls? IRAF or Meier or Repikas' Thor?
Murders Ymir.
Fair point. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
I'll
Don't
give you
talk
that one.
Europe with me.
Come on, man.
To be fair, Raffers at Worlds were good because Raffers Ymir used to be awful, but he really picked up towards the end of the season. And now the Gold Fury has been started by Cringe Crew here, will be bursted down. Gold Fury goes their way, Jungler goes in looking for a pick, but he's dead. He gets his ultimate off, but no one's going to die to that. And now Arkkyl, he's going to dash away, but the horse is going to follow him. There's also Apollo in the sky. Arkkyl has no way of getting away from this. Even Thor dunks in too. Poor Arkkyl doing what he can to live. Gets a ricochet off the wall, but it's too little, too late. He'll fall.
I have no idea how he lasted that long. But
Sanctuary as well.
There was zero hope for him. Cringe Crew invest a lot, but it doesn't matter. They get a tower as well. Right-hand side, Cherryo trying to split push on Janus, but guess what? I mean, EmilZy has teleport?
EmilZy has teleport. He's the one they want to defend here. Guess he doesn't feel like he needs another one. Instead, tier 2 tower, pressured by Cringe Crew. I'll take that one as well. Go to the graphs, and let's see the impact this has made yet again on this game.
10,000 experience, 8,200 gold, and guess what? We're only 15 minutes in, and Cringe Crew have knocked down almost every single tower outside of the 2 on the right-hand side of the map, and there's almost no way you see teams kind of go over there, right? All the focus is on the mid and the left side until Fire Giant becomes relevant at 20 minutes. This is, once again, a beautifully executed game plan by Cringe Crew.
And it's working out great for them. 11-3 already. That golden experience lead is insane. Repikas is having a very good game. 3 levels above the circuit at the moment at 3-0-5. Look at the player damage though. Axioz is top. Yeah, okay. He is a solo laner, so they do stat pad all day, as I believe that man was saying.
I mean, just for how much action has been in this game, for how far ahead of Cringe Crew are, the damage numbers aren't that high. A lot of times, even though it's only 60 minutes in, you'll start to see someone look at 10,000. But this just means once a fight happens, Cringe Crew just simply win it. There is no poke wars, there's nothing. They make a call, they go in, they complete it.
I have a feeling though, the longer this has gone on, Leftovers, they went on a good run at the start of the year. I mean, they beat 2-0 Hungry for More, which back then, Hungry for More were touted as a potential team. Lost to Pantera, then split with Torpedo, then lost to Paradigm. And when you look at this, I think Leftovers are starting to drift down the rankings a little bit here. They're not finding as much as we had high hopes for them at the start of the season, especially well, after the start of the season we had high hopes for them. We expected them at the bottom, number 8 for me personally. But they're starting to drift back down there now.
You know, I think Leftovers is a team that had a potential for DreamHack, but this is still kind of a learning team, right? They bring in a couple rookies. Now, Enemy were able to make theirs work. Speaking of this, though, Arkkyl, one of those rookies, gonna find himself caught at his own red buff. Badgah just trying to get away, but EmilZy continuing to be aggressive, and the towers on the right-hand side, they're going to start to fall as well. Cringe Crew just putting pressure everywhere.
Well, for 17 minutes in, what do? I mean, you're so far behind. Everybody's ahead in terms of gold and experience. It's like, well, we're just going to give these away. Hold of the Phoenixes. When you look at the hold of the Phoenixes, where's the wave clear? It's basically Janus. That's it.
It's very hard to come back when you're this far behind at only 17 minutes. This is Leftovers' only hope. If someone can steal this, but I don't even think
Janus,
they know.
Cherryo, cheered in with Cherryo. Cherryo, snipe. Snipe, Cherryo, snipe.
He did. He already sniped.
Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? Cringe Crew, get the Fire Giant. Cherryo, unfortunately, did not manage to pick it up, and nobody on the side of Cringe Crew did fall. Janus did not have the damage with a Chronos Pendant and the Legion Helm. Just not enough.
I'm not even sure he hit it. It was close. The angle was close, but I think it was just a little bit under. And now, Cringe Crew, they're going to waste no time. We're going to see Cherryo split pushing on the left-hand side. He's going to back, though, and they're not even going to spend whatever gold's in their inventory. They're just going to head straight into this Phoenix.
Get a Phoenix first, then go back. They've got Athena in base right now. She can also ult back in if EmilZy's needed here. But instead, who's going to engage? EmilZy is back, teleporting instead of using the ultimate. The wall is going to deny the lurking in the wars from Badgah. Then now on cooldown, there's a ton going straight for the damage dealers. Bellona goes in with a big Eagles rally, though, trying to zone them back, which creates that zone for a moment. But the front line is better.
Repikas comes crashing down. One Phoenix falls, and now Jungler just trying to do whatever he can. One more hit. It's going to be Kero and EmilZy to find one. 2 dead so far. Soul Ultimate in the fountain. but it looks like Leftovers, they're going to manage to keep 3 members alive. But Cringe Crew, I mean, they could end this game sub 20 minutes at this point.
Maybe they can. Phoenix in mid is about to fall down. Nobody here to defend that one at all. Disarm hit onto Kero, but Kero took the exit route.
Done.
And a surrender vote will come through from Leftovers. Not a surprise. 90 minutes and 1 second. I believe that is the quickest game of the SPL this year. I want to say it is.
I think there was a couple faster surrenders.
Really?
I think I'm not. I think there was a couple
Okay.
faster surrenders, like around 10 minutes when stuff was just like really bad, or like around
10?
15.
I
There's
mean,
been a couple
I don't
fast
think it
surrenders.
was a 10. Okay. 13-18 Paradigm versus Leftovers. And it was Leftovers again then.
So
They like surrendering early. If they're behind, they'll surrender. But
I mean, they were pretty far behind there.
Cringe Crew, let's talk about them for a moment. They had a very good performance today. Pretty clean for both games.
Definitely in contention for DreamHack right now. I'm looking at Panthera, Paradigm, and then Dig and Cringe Crew based on their recent performances. I think Torpedo and Leftovers are kind of on that bottom side. They're going to be fighting with Hungry for More and Fnatic to stay out of relegations. Now, it is only week 5, so these teams could start to rise or fall in the standings, but with how these teams have developed, specifically Cringe Crew, and how clean that win was, it's going to be very hard for Paradigm and Dignitas to keep them at bay.
We'll see. First Blood on your screen right about now. And once again, it was over onto Jungler.
And Jungler, very good in the first couple minutes. Likes to set up these sneaky, I would say sneaky, right? It's not like you see Jungler coming. He just kind of waits for you around the corner and surprises you.
That's the biggest issue we can see out of Jungler here, is that his early game very strong, very aggressive, but he starts to fall and drift a little bit in the mid game instead of continuing on that pace maybe. Maybe he needs to work on that a little bit.
Possibly. Axioz as well, having a very good game, actually soloing out Nika. And as Jungler said,
this kill.
Jungler says, welcome to the SPL in game 1. And then Axioz says, hey, I'm in the SPL game 2.
We didn't get to see that kill, and I wasn't 100% certain what happened in that lane. But Nika hits Axioz hits level 5 first, and that's because Jungler was over there taking experience. Come back to haunt him. We do have some Repikas players again who, on that Thor, had once again another decent game. He obviously played well in the Bakasura.
You say decent game?
I mean, I expect Repikas to be able to hit walls like that because I've seen him before, but now he's back to those ways again.
I've watched...
That wall double tap was awesome.
I've watched the SPL for a long time, and they're going to kill Jungler because of this as well.
Yep.
Repikas comes landing down, but I've seen a lot of players play Thor, right? And we've seen games like these from players as well, where every wall is on point. But to do it all the time, it's a lot harder. And if Repikas can continue to play at this level, right, if he goes back to his superstar status, because to be fair, he did lose his superstar status.
He did.
Season 1, he had it, right? Season 2, not so much.
I was expecting the retirement home for him, but look at him now. Back on Cringe Crew, looking for another run. Heavily into the Pro League of top 3 teams once more. Back where the Titan boys were, he's now trying to do the same thing with Cringe Crew.
And honestly, that's what you need. You always need a star player. If you want to compete at the top, if you want to win lands, you need some dude who's going to show up every game and just potentially hard carry, right? We've seen it. Panthera, they have multiples.
Yep.
Cloud9, they've had Andenster, they had Barracuda to show up.
So
right?
who is it on Cringe Crew?
Maybe Repikas. Maybe Repikas becomes that guy.
Well, Shaggyshenk also had a good performance once again this week. Got some target bans at him again. And on the Apollo, he made an impact this game. This is level 10 when he turns up to this fight, the Gold Fury, which, let's be fair, this was the mistake by Leftovers.
The double dunk. Like, how do you deal with all these players coming crashing down? Perfectly lands on the back line. He doesn't chase, right? He could look to kill. He could look to chase and kill, but instead he turns his attention to Nika, helps his team finish him off. He knows Arkkyl's out of the fight, right? Even if he kills him, he has to go back to base. He can't contest the Gold Fury. They find that kill, Arkkyl back to the fountain, and then they get the uncontested Gold Fury.
Well, let's go to the standings because you'll find out there's a new person in second position right now before the rest of the games this week. Cringe Crew climbed to 7 and 5. Leftovers slipped down to 6th at 4 and 8 right about now. So Hungry for More hot on their heels at the bottom. And now, obviously, rest of Friday still to come. We've got one more matchup.
Panthera are going to be taking on the struggling Fnatic. Maniac back in the solo lane, though. We'll see if they can come up with a win against the best team in the world.
Cringe Crew could get a split. Can Fnatic find the split as well? I'm going for Panthera this game, but best of luck to both those teams. We'll be back after a short break with the conclusion of today's Pro League action.